how it was used.
What are some of the benefits of remote viewing, and how do people use remote viewing, and how would you explain it to somebody that has no idea what remote viewing is?
So remote viewing is it's basically using a muscle that we all have. We all have the ability to access information outside of our body. Right? It's called non-local awareness. Um, like any muscle, you can train it, you can tune it to higher degrees of agility. And what the military guys and the scientists at Stanford Research Institute did was they basically formalized the process, the paper-based pen and paper process that anybody could sit down with a couple of sheets of paper, be given a blind reference. They wouldn't be given any information about the target, and yet they could describe the locations, people, places, events, distant in space and time, and to varying degrees of accuracy, which all then fed into an information gathering process. How it's used today in the public realm. I'm sorry, this was declassified in 1995, so there were 40,000 documents released by the CIA, which again, they're freely available online now at a number of
Right.
different locations. So you can see the reports, you can see the documents, it's all there, the research that they were doing on other countries. But it came into the public realm in 1995. And at that point then, former military trainers were able to go out and train the public. So they started setting up their own businesses, training people. And, thousands of people have trained in it to date. They use it for things, I mean, the first one is usually personal development. I want to know what I'm truly capable of as a human being.
Yeah.
And that's usually the first one. There are those that want to open up more creative perceptual channels, for creative purposes. There are people who want to use it for technical reasons, engineers who want to use it for solving technical problems, developing prototypes, innovation consultants using it to, again, future cast for new ideas. If we can find a technology from the near future and reverse engineer that process, then that's a very valuable thing to be able to do. There are those who use it for viewing stock market trends. There are
Yeah.
those who use it for viewing sports outcomes, sports games. Are the Lakers going to win on Saturday? That kind of thing. Um, Everybody says, "Oh, what about the lotto? What about the lotteries?" Yeah, you can, but it's a challenging thing to do. Right? It requires a lot of practice. But there are people who regularly make money on the pick three, pick fours that you guys have in the US. Um, and it's used for archaeology. So you're in a location, you've got a big empty field, you've got a short amount of time. Where do you dig? Well, you can use your ground penetrating radar, but that's going to take you some time. But if the viewers can not only describe where you should dig, but what you can expect to find there, that's a very valuable thing to be able to do.
Do you feel that somebody could locate, minerals and gold veins and
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's used for all of that, for geological searches, searching for oil, searching for minerals, searching for other resources. Real estate agents, realtors, as you call them in the States,
yeah,
can use it for identifying which properties they should actually go after. Which ones they should promote more to get them the best results. Uh,
what kind of specifics would somebody get in the real estate agent if they were buying real estate, like the worth or whether that house is desirable or
well, if it's somebody buying property, should I be buying this house? So what they can do is you can go through a process where you can move forward in time and describe the experience of being in that house. And if you're having any problems, they will show up there. So that might
right,
warn you off buying it. For those selling properties, realtor agents, if they've got 3 properties to promote or 10 properties to promote, well, which ones should we focus on? Then they can use the process to narrow that down and focus on those that will give them the best returns.
right,
Equally, business owners can use it. We've got 3 business strategies that we could, follow. Which one should we go for? A, B, or C? And again, you can explore down timelines with each of those. Strategy A might look really good, but you find in 6 months' time it's going to hit a regulatory blockage.
yep,
Plan C might look like a long, slow burn. Plan B might look really good, but what you find when you go down the timelines in 2 years' time, some new technology comes out that basically kills your project. So what you do in that case is you can abandon A, you will continue with plan B, because that's going to give you 2 good years. But meanwhile, you're preparing plan C, because that's going to be your long burner. Because you will know that in 2 years' time, there's going to be a problem with this business. And so therefore, you're preparing your backup plan even before your competitors realize there's a problem.
So explain timeline. So you're saying that literally you could jump a timeline into the future or even back into the past? And
your subconscious doesn't differentiate between distance and time because it's simply just another dimension. So a monitor working with a remote viewer can say move 10 yards at the target, describe what you see or what you hear. Or you could say move 10 minutes at the target or move 10 years at the target. And you can move backwards or forwards in time. Now it's easier to move backwards because stuff has happened, so it's there.
Right.
It's harder to move forward in time and be accurate because of the potential timelines are diverging at that point. All the potential options are diverging. So the further forward you go, the more likely you are to be off on a tangential timeline to the present point where you actually are. But sometimes it can work really, really well.
Now, when you train people with remote viewing, do you feel that anybody needs to have any kind of qualifications?
No.
Any
Absolutely not.
Training in meditation or energy work?
This was designed to train grunts. Okay, so they came up with a pen and paper process where you sit somebody down, you put pen and paper in front of them, you walk them step by step through a process. So as my trainer Lynn said to me, if you believe that you need to go and do a 1-hour hemi-sync meditation with binaural beats before you can remote view, that will be your truth.
Right.
But it's not true. Right? It's just a belief that you create. If you believe you have to chant mantras for 20 minutes, that becomes part of your belief system, but it also becomes a block. When you've got a 4-star general staring at you and saying, we need this information now, you don't say to your general, sorry, I got to go and do a 40-minute deep trance meditation. It just doesn't work that way in the military. So what they did was they stripped away all of the belief systems and they just looked at the actual process itself and said, right, how can we formalize this in a step-by-step process? And that's exactly what they did. And it is surprisingly easy to learn. I've had people with severe brain trauma, like frontal brain trauma, who, one guy came to a class and Lynn was the trainer on the class. I was assisting and I was quite nervous about this, that this guy was coming and was he going to get the benefit out of it? And yeah, we found that when he did his session work and we showed him then the feedback photographs, he was hitting the target. Not in the level of detail that somebody else might have, again, because of the traumatic accident that he had. But he was drawing things, he was writing things down that clearly indicated he was getting information about the target.